Today we're going to see how a Texas Heat sounds in one of those new Bandits back there. This is a really great speaker, arguably one of my favorites. It's 150 watts, high efficiency, extremely loud, and super fat. Let's do it. Alright, so the way I'm going to do this, I've already shot the first part before I've actually gone to take the speaker out, and then I'll have exactly the same settings and you'll see them on screen. I'll make sure everything's dialed in the way that I like it, and we should do a back-to-back comparison. And being that there's probably going to be about 20 or 30 minutes, no, not that long, maybe 15 minutes between takes, hopefully I can play the same thing again. So yeah, let's get into this and let's see if it sounds better than the stock speaker. I'm kind of tipping that it will. I love this speaker, but it's all subjective. You might like this one more. And there it is, the Blue Marvel. It just picked up all of the bloody screws. Nice work there, Shane. Yeah, and it's interesting that Peavey decided to put all of the screws in as opposed to just 4. Usually most speakers only have 4 screws that go into the actual cab, but they've decided to use all the holes, so interesting stuff. And yeah, let's take a look at the Texas Heat. I can tell you already this feels heavier, which is usually a good sign on the most part of a better quality speaker. That's just my experience. The bigger the magnet, usually the better the bass response. Boom, there we go. I've just increased the weight of the amp by about 15%. Now this speaker has drastically taken off the top end, which is great. It doesn't have that ice pick anymore. Alright, so what you just heard was a straight up comparison of exactly the same settings. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Now, I'm going to dial in the amplifier the way that I think might suit the speaker a little bit more. So let's give this a shot. I'm going to turn the bass down a little bit more mids. I'm actually going to bring the treble up. Let's turn up the gain a little more. So this is the lead tone. Here we go. Sounds so much better. Volume down. And back up. Bridge. Yeah. Let's crank up the gain a little more. It's probably going to sound less fizzy than with the other speaker as well. Whew, that is loud. How's my clipping going? It is fine. Awesome. Over to neck. Man, oh man. Try it with the gain down. Post up a little bit more to 1 o'clock, so gig volume. So what are my initial impressions of changing the speaker in the Peavey Bandit, one of the new ones, to a Texas Heat? I think it's an improvement. Let's go over to the vintage clean channel here and see if it's helped it, because this was always the channel that was a little bit thin sounding and just a little bit bland. So vintage channel it is. Actually feel the knock of the low end now. It's way better. Classic. Volume up a little more. Let's turn up the tops. And over to the warm, which always had this overtone you couldn't get rid of, this brightness. Much better. And that's with the high at 1 o'clock. On this particular mode, I would never have it above 3. But now it feels like you need it up a little bit more, which is good. 12 o'clock. Yeah, cool. There you go, you've heard it. Let me know which one you like best and why in the comments below. Now, to my ear, the Texas Heat had more lower mids. It was a fatter sound. It also took out some of that high end that solid state amps can sometimes be notorious for. Usually not the Bandit, but this particular one on the warm setting gets a little bit ice picky. And I gotta say too, the vintage channel sounds pretty thin with the stock speaker. But with the Texas Heat, it just adds that little bit of extra warmth and low-end punch. So I think it would be a no-brainer to put this in a Bandit, or any Bandit for that matter. Even if you've got a Studio Pro 112, Texas Heat is definitely the way to go. They're really great speakers, they're super loud. But the funny thing is, I say they're super loud, but I gotta say, in the room, there didn't seem to be that much of a volume difference. It was more just the frequencies I was hearing. It felt very different to play. One felt sort of fat and juicy, the other one was kind of a little sterile sounding to some extent. So yeah, let me know what you think. There's no right or wrong, it's all subjective stuff. And what can I say? Am I gonna keep this amp? No. I only bought it to do these videos, so I'm gonna probably flip it on eBay or something like that pretty soon. I bought it just to do this series of videos. If you missed my full review of this amplifier and all that kind of stuff, I'll put a link up in the cards through to the playlist and you can check that out. I still love my red stripe Peavey Bandit. I'm gonna put the Texas Heat speaker back in that, and that will be in there until the amp stops working. But you know what? I got this amp for such a deal, maybe it's worth keeping. Let me know in the comments if you think I should keep it or not. I just don't want to have a wall of amplifiers behind me. That's not really my kind of vibe. But anyway, let me know what you think. Thanks again, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell for notifications. I'll catch you soon. See ya.